Hi everyone, it is Brianna Wilkerson here from Made Well, coaching practice designed to empower others to be healthy and thrive in all areas of their life. And I'm also a wellness advocate with doTERRA. And sorry for those who tried to jump on half hour ago. doTERRA's convention actually went over like 30 minutes, and so I was watching and I was like, listen, I have to write this stuff down. And then my Be Live event thing expired, and then I tried to go back on and there was just some issues. So I'm like, let's just do straight up regular Facebook Live, and we're gonna go from there. Okay, so I am so excited. I am so excited. I'm just gonna give you a little bit of context around this too. So I was supposed to be at doTERRA's convention. Now, Tuesday night, I even did a live saying I was gonna go, right? But Tuesday night, I started to really look at Hurricane Irma and say, I do not think I should go. Hi, whoever joined. Feel free to say hello. Hopefully you weren't waiting. Hopefully. Anyways, and I just did not feel peace because yes, I could have went through, because I was going through Miami, I could have went through Miami, but coming back, I would have had to go into, I wouldn't have been able to get into Miami because I was supposed to come back the day that the hurricane was supposed to hit. And for many reasons, I just did not want to be away from my family at this time. And the thought of being stranded did not sit well with me either. And so I just did not have peace. I prayed, I just did not have peace. And eventually I said, I am just going to stay myself put and watch the live stream. Hi, Elizabeth. Good to see you. Feel free to share more. I'm just sharing a little bit right now about little context around convention. So I've been watching it live from the comfort of my own home, taking a bunch of notes, and just the minute that the live stream came on, you have no idea, there was just a burst of joy, and I told myself, this is such a gift. I love doTERRA. It is such a gift. I love these oils, such a gift, and I love them. I'm not like this essential oil lover that's like, oh my gosh, that just loves it and wants you to get it. It's like, these things are real, the real deal, and they work, and that's why I want you to get them, right? And so I went to the convention last year and just was so transformed, more so than just how these oils work is why. Actually what happens in the body, what can they do emotionally, all these different things. And so today, for 3.5 hours, went through the science and the research part of it, but that's not what I'm going to talk about today. Hopefully do a live on that later. It makes me so happy because why I love doTERRA, and I'm going to just share from my heart, then I'm going to share some statistics of what they shared, then talk about the new oils. Hey Chantel, good to see you. I love doTERRA because it's a company that matters, that cares, and is more than just about profit. Yeah, they're probably one of the biggest companies in the world, probably one of the most profitable. But I feel personally, I have a very good radar of detecting when someone is authentic and when they're not. And when I see doTERRA and I see the leadership, when I hear the leadership, and when I hear about how much they care about the quality of the oil, from the chemistry part, from how much they test it, from where the sourcing has come from, and how they care for their farmers, I have not met a company that has been that's just untouched to that. And everything that I believe to be true about health and wellness, and a lot of things I believe about our social responsibility in this world and for our community, this company represents. And so they do have a not-for-profit, the Healing Hands Foundation, that funds amazing projects such as, freeing kids from sex and trafficked slavery, from helping girls get the sanitary stuff they need in order to go to school in some countries, from their co-impact sourcing initiatives where they source from 45 different countries around the world, and they're making sure that these farmers have jobs, that they're getting paid fairly, that they're having proper work conditions. And that to me is if you think about eliminating poverty, and I'm going to just go off on a little tangent for a little bit on this. So when I went to college, I was exposed to really the gravity of how big poverty is, and our duty as Christians, as people, to help eliminate that. And you can give someone money, you can give someone food, you can give someone clothes, but really that's going to help them. But to reduce and eradicate that poverty, you need to empower them. You need to empower them in some way to help eventually get themselves out of that. And so that's why you have a lot of microloan businesses. What they do is they give a lot of people money and start their own business, learn how to save, learn to manage it well, and things that they already do well. And so when I heard that doTERRA does that, and that then by doing that, they're sourcing the oils from the places they grow best, from the people who know how to pick them best, and then I tested these oils and I saw the process that they went through to make sure they're pure. To me, in my heart, I was said, yes. You don't have to convince me, yes. And so every time I watch convention, because I'm here in the Cayman Islands, I have some team members, but it's different than being in the States or these other countries where there's more people who are using them, more people that are passionate about them. So when I watch the convention, it reminds me that I'm a part of something so much bigger, that it's not just about oils, it's really about people's health, well-being, and empowerment, and really giving them the tools to really thrive in their life. And that is what Made Well, my business, was founded upon. Empowering others to be healthy and thrive in all areas of their life. And so the fact that I could do that alongside of another company who believes the same, by far, I'm in. And I'm in no matter how hard it gets, and I'm in no matter what, right? And so that's, I mean, I could tell you a lot of like the way that the company is just expanded. They have over, I think it's 10 million wellness advocates. Just there's so many people within the last 9 years. This company is very young. They give so much value, and they serve in so much ways to their customers, to their partners, and to people who they just care about. And that to me speaks to the integrity of a company, the authenticity, and there's just how amazing they are. So that's why for me, like, I'm never going back. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the new oils. Now, I have some notes that I've gathered from a couple different sources, and then as well as mine. So if you want the detailed notes on this, put a comment below, and I can send you those notes when I'm like done editing them and everything for today, and as well as the other lives I'll do in the other times, because it's like 6 hours of teaching per day, right? So I'm just talking about day ones, which is only 2 hours. And so let's start with the oils. And so the exciting thing is that I was just listening to the research thing, and I think what they said was there's about over 17,000 possible plants that have essential oil compounds, and only yet 400 of them are being, 17,500 essential oil bearing plants, and only 400 of them are commercially sold. So every year when there's a new one, it's like a little treat. It's like, of all these plants that are possibly available, we now have them. Because what essential oils are, if you're not familiar with them, what they are at their core, in basic terms, is that they are the aromatic and really the health compounds of these natural things that we have in everyday life. That maybe at a certain point in human history we used to use a lot to care for our health, but then with modern medicine and industrialization, we introduce a lot of synthetic, chemically laden, and toxic stuff into our lives. Let's just say it. And so essential oils is just coming back to, I believe, was God's intended creation and plan. To me, it's coming back to the Garden of Eden. I remember leaving doTERRA's convention last year, and I was like, what's my big why? Like, why do I keep doing this? Because you're giving so much. And I'm like, I can just use the oils on myself. I don't need to tell anyone. But then I'm like convicted, because how can I not? Because to me, I really felt in that moment that God created the world for beauty, for aesthetic reasons, but he created these plants and stuff to also help humans and sustain them and heal them and all these different things, right? So it's just us coming back to God's intended plan for humanity and for creation. And so it's, for me, that's a huge why. And so that's why I care so much. That's why I want to let you know what's going on. And so if you are, whether you've gotten doTERRA oils before, whether you're on my team and chosen to get oils, whether you're just listening and interested, like just share a little bit with you of why these oils are so amazing. Okay, so let's start. The first oil. So the first oil, Dr. David Hill is kind of the main science guy, and I love him. He's just so simple. He makes science simple. And he started talking about conifer oils, which mainly are like our fir oils, like white fir, Douglas fir, cedarwood, juniper berry, arbor vitae, cypress, etc. that doTERRA has. And fir oils have very much the same kind of characteristics and benefits. 2 sets of notes, so I'm trying to make sure I get everything. And so when you compare Douglas and white fir, the main chemical constituent, is that the right word, is monoterpenes. And I'll talk a little bit more about monoterpenes in the next video I do around science. But the idea is, like, he was just framing, okay, why is this new oil important? And so give it away, it's a fir, right? So white fir has the most of that, and monoterpenes are very good for so many reasons. And so white fir we actually are not going to source anymore in doTERRA because it's just a hard thing to source. So it's like, great, like that one thing that could really help us in so many ways that's gone. Then comes Siberian fir. So Siberian fir is a lot more plentiful than white fir. The chemistry between them, though, is quite similar. But Siberian fir has almost double the one particular compound that white fir has. So even from an efficiency and actually working point of view, Siberian fir is awesome. Siberian fir affects many body systems, and it promotes a positive feeling. And some of the effects are relaxation in your central nervous system. So quick note, when it comes to your central nervous system, very much linked to when you're stressed, like a lot of stuff's going on in your mind, linked to your brain, your nervous system. So when anything says it can impact your central nervous system, we want to listen. So Siberian fir could help with relaxation, cardio support, cellular support, cleaning, metabolism, respiratory tissue support, and immune support. So many great uses. Aromatically, you can invoke feelings of relaxation and rest. Inhale to soothe also dry airways. Topically, really helps with overactive tissues and skin irritations, wounds, or bites, and can also ease discomfort. So Siberian fir and frankincense are really good to use together because Siberian fir also helps with cellular support, which at the core of it, we're made up of our cells, and so when our cells are healthy, then we are healthy. And internally, you can put 1 to 3 drops in a capsule to support your body systems, and actually has been used a lot in food. Application, you can use it with a citrus oil for cleaning. You can use it in combination with rosemary, eucalyptus, cypress for lime for clarifying aromatic and respiratory uses. And you can blend with tea tree oil, cedarwood, or flower oils to eliminate and banish skin issues. How awesome is that? I realize I haven't shared this video in the groups that I wanted to share it in. My oils group and my health group, which sort of is one and the same. Let me just do that for a quick minute. Thank you all for staying. Feel free to post questions and thoughts along the way. That's why I wanted to go live too, just in case anyone was on. If they wanted to share, ask questions, they could. All right. Okay, back to my notes. So that's Siberian fir. Super excited. I actually only have a little small part of the firs, but I really love the fir oils. It's like, I think Douglas fir is what we use for our Christmas tree or something. So like they really like, it smells very piney or Christmassy, right? So the next thing are our flower oils. So flower oils are really good for immune support, diffusing, apply to our body, and really relaxing, again, our central nervous system. Then we kind of also started talking about chamomile oils. And so one of the main ones that we currently have is Roman chamomile and blue chamomile, and even blue tansy, which are in a lot of our blends. But now we specifically have blue tansy as a separate oil. So blue tansy is going to be very sustainable to source. It can provide an uplifting mood, create a positive environment, apply topically again to the skin, It helps sustain body chemistry and control your emotional regulation. Provides soothing relief, skin support, immunity, and antioxidant support. For skin, it helps, again, overactive responses with tissues. You can combine with ones such as cedarwood, frankincense, geranium, lemongrass, and marjoram. And it can make you look like a Smurf because it's blue. So when you are applying it, the absorption rate differs for each person, but you could use what we have called as fractionated coconut oil, and it's just where you take away the certain fatty part of the oil that doesn't make it harden, but also helps with the penetration, which I'll talk a little bit about too. So first, oil Siberian, first, second, blue tansy, third is, we're going to talk about, one second, Copaiba. Copaiba. Now, to give you a little context, we'll talk about the endocannabinoid system. And that just means your internal system. So this interacts really with your CB1 and your CB2 receptors. And your CB1 receptor is your brain and your central nervous system, which is, in charge of appetite, thermal energy, and all of those stuff. Your CB2 receptor is in charge of your endocrine system and your immune system. So if you hear the word cannabis, most of you are probably thinking a drug of some sort that can make you high, which there are different parts of, how do I say it? There's different species of it that really, one can really accomplish that, and that would be your THC, right? And then there is also your THC directly interacts with your CB1 and CB2 and is actually illegal. So that's not the part we're sourcing. The other one, your CBD, is present in low quantities or not at all in this cannabis oil, and it does not directly act with your CBC receptors. Therefore, we want to look for the other part of the cannabinoids that would help. Sorry, I talked about endocannabinoid, and then next, what I'm talking about in regards to CBD, THC, and BCB is your exocannabinoid system, external to the body. There's a lot of technical terms going down right now, but it's awesome to learn why these oils, it's not just like a good feeling. So I just want to, in case you are that, I just want to give you all the context. So BCB, there's no CB1 interaction, meaning it's not going to make you high, right? But there is a CB2 interaction, meaning it's going to help your endocrine system and your immune system. BCB is also in a lot of the oils we already have with doTERRA, like black pepper, melissa, ylang-ylang, clove, helichrysum, juniper berry, and oregano. But it's amazing to have this one particular oil. Now, the benefits of this oil, Copaiba, is liver and antioxidant support, cardiovascular support, digestive support, immune system, neurological support, and respiratory. That's like your whole body. Why not use this oil? And actually, Dr. Hill mentioned today that someone at convention got the oil, went and used it, and finally got sleep for the first whole night for the first time in 4 months. So it's good. Internally, you can put it in a capsule. So a lot of doTERRA's oils you can take internally. Sometimes the easiest way is to take it in a capsule. You could use it, blend it with frankincense, again, for that cellular support. You could take with peppermint at mealtime and so forth. You could apply it again to skin irritations. And so a lot of these oils so far are really great for your skin. So blue tansy, Siberian fir, and I'm saying it wrong. Copaiba. I don't know. Aromatically, you can diffuse to calm yourself. You can pair it with other oils. A lot of people ask me about this. Can I diffuse more than one oil at once? Yes, you can. And so citrus oils will tend to elevate your mood, so you can diffuse that with that. And then floral oils can kind of relax you, so you can diffuse it with that if you're looking for a more relaxation sort of flow. And then onto our fourth oil. Now, Emily Wright, she's Director of Sales and Marketing, talked about 3 new flower oils. So the first one is sourced from Egypt, where these particular trees have been untouched since 642 AD, which is extremely important because a lot of other places that maybe have sourced this oil might have cross-pollinated type their trees. So these ones are untouched. It comes from the bitter orange. So there's the bitter orange, which doTERRA actually sources a lot from that. The petitgrain, which is another oil, comes from the leaf. Bitter orange oil, which is the orange oil, comes from the bitter orange. Or the orange itself. And neroli oil comes from the flower. So a neroli is the new fourth oil. First I was like, neroli, actually what is that? But neroli has a very, very, very rich history and has been used quite a bit in weddings in the Arab community. Used for a woman to she put on to represent her purity and virginity, as well as used by other women to kind of seduce. It was also used for impotence. And so this one is a beautiful oil to help reduce stress and anxious feelings. You could put it over the heart and breathe it in. Supports healthy intestinal inflammatory response to your intestines. You can apply to the wound and the wound will heal faster. You can use in your late stages of pregnancies or on the bottom of your feet, ankles for a positive experience. You can improve hormone and concentrations, encourage feelings of intimacy, cellular health optimization, and health, cell production. So doTERRA has two particular oils that are really great for that. It's frankincense and DDR prime, which is a blend. So this can be used in conjunction with that. So neroli oil, it's going to come in a touch bottle, which means that it's in a roll-on and it's diluted with coconut oil, which we'll kind of talk about the benefits of it being diluted in a little bit. So a lot of these oils are really great for many different reasons, especially in regards to the emotion aspect. And I have a whole emotional class on that, so let me know if you want. I could send you the links to that. So Jasmine Touch. Jasmine Touch is the fifth one. So jasmine and actually rose is the next one. Jasmine and rose are typically very hard to source. And that's reason because, like I'll say in a little bit with rose, it takes about 8,000 roses to make one 5 milliliter bottle, which is about 90 drops. So it takes a lot of manpower, woman power, and a lot of sources to do that. But now that we have it select in a roller bottle, which just means it's diluted with coconut oil, so it's less of the actual oil. It's now available all year round. But don't get me wrong, I'm going to tell you why it's actually very important to dilute your oils as well in a second. So jasmine, beautiful jasmine. So jasmine is one that actually needs to be kind of picked in the morning because it's best. The petals are best in the morning. When you smell it, it really just can help relax you, calm you, uplift you, help you feel euphoria, feel free, feel joyful. I think it takes 21,000 petals. Am I right with that? Did I write that down right? Yeah, 21,000 petals to make a jasmine. So this size bottle that I have right here, it takes 21,000 petals, or a day's half of work. So it's very potent. Jasmine is very, very potent. Oh, woo, so good. But jasmine is actually what we would call an absolute oil. So what does that mean? It means that you extract the waxes and the petals, and the aromatics are separated from it, and that's what makes the scent very intense. So that's why jasmine is very, very intense, and more intense than your normal oil. So the benefits of jasmine can be that it helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, put it over your pulse points, helps with labor and menstrual cycles for relaxation, helps with back massages or inhaling it, central nervous system support. You can use jasmine for internally for a mood boost. How potent is a drop of oil? So there's about 6.1 million molecules in a single drop of grapefruit oil, for example. So with jasmine, you only really need to use one, right? So just know that it's not always about like how much you use. One drop can go a long, long way. So let me just talk a little bit about diluting the oils before I get to the rose, and then a couple more updates, and then we're going to kind of wrap up. So at first, we have the mentality that oils should go on neat, and neat, what we mean is just without a dilution. And sometimes I used to just dilute them when they were kind of hot or spicy oils. That would really just make your skin tingle a little bit. But what actually happens is that our skin is composed of kind of 3 different layers. It's your your epidermis layer, which is actually 5 layers in itself, your dermis layer, where your blood capillaries are, and then your hypodermis. Now, when you are diluting it with a certain carrier oil, it can penetrate to the source better. And so there's an oil that doTERRA has, the fractionated coconut oil. Now, you can use every coconut oil, don't get me wrong, but the fractionated one has medium chain triglycerides, which just then helps with the absorption, protection, and penetration. And so one thing to also do when you are applying oils topically is to massage where you're applying it before. That way, when it touches it, your blood's already flowing, so it's more open to receiving that oil. So never just put an oil on and that's it. Like, actually rub it in. So then let's talk about rose, and then we'll talk about two more last new products, and then a couple updates on things. So rose oil is 8,000 petals. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. It is a very powerful and beautiful oil. Rose is now being sourced from Bulgaria. It's the queen of oils, and now it's a permanent collection. It's available in the touch bottle as well. Rose is very, it's actually highly staining as well, so it's like you might want to dilute it. Let me talk about the benefits. Rose is emotionally uplifting. It helps balance or moisturize levels in the skin, reduces the appearance of skin imperfections, supports the immune system. You feel radiant, connected, and intimate. Has unique chemistry with staying power. When you put it on, it can last like throughout the day. And I made one class, we had a do-it-yourself class, and people who came made a little perfume with the flower oils, and I let them use my rose and jasmine. And everyone that tells me they still have that, and they said that they can smell themselves all the time. It helps the body to naturally release the desire for pain medication. So you want more natural things, and it's great to apply in the morning, noon, and night to promote healthy brain function and immune boosting. So I'm going to tell you a story about Rose that Emily shared. So her daughter came down with a very concerning skin condition that initially looked like spider bites. But then it got very serious. She went to a dermatologist, and they said this could be kind of life-threatening. Her daughter was using the On Guard soft gels, which is the immune protective blend that everyone should have some of this at all times. Like, mine is nearly done. I'm just waiting for my other one to come. And she was using those soft gels, which include black pepper, melissa, I think oregano in there, and then On Guard. And she was scared, like, should I follow what the doctor's saying? And then, Dr. Hill just reminded her about the research that came out last year about rose and its power to really kind of like, help in that healing process. So she started using Melaleuca Touch, which is our tea tree oil that's antiseptic, viral, like all those major anti things. And Rose Touch, and just kept applying it using the On Guard soft gels, and her skin was clear in a week. So this potential life-threatening thing was clear just by using Rose, On Guard soft gels, and Melaleuca in that diluted coconut oil. And then other kids came down that were on the same bouncy slide that they had rented, that they thought that was the contributor to that skin issue, and had the same result when they did the same things. And so there is power. There's science behind it and its effectiveness, and a lot of people, talk about the statistically significant things. But when you have an experience like that, that is what tells you that this thing works. And that's the same thing with me. Like, I had tendonitis in my wrist for a long, long time, started using Deep Blue, and the pain went away like nothing before. And so for me, that was an indication to me that I need to help others with this, right? So Rose Touch. So far, the 6 new oils are Siberian Fir, Blue Tansy, Copaiba, Jasmine Touch, Neroli Touch, and Rose Touch. And then the last one is On Guard sanitizing spray. So On Guard in itself is a really amazing immune boosting oil. And I'll talk a little bit, hopefully in another live, about the research behind that. But it is one that they've created products for in your cleaning, tons of cleaning products, tons of hand wash products, and tons of internal, because those who use it notice a difference in their children being sick less. For me, when I travel to foreign countries now, I'm always carrying On Guard, and I don't come back with anything, because this oil is amazing. But one thing that I did personally, I created my own hand sanitizer with On Guard. But this is nice that it's in a spray that when you're traveling or when you're just keep it in your purse, you can take away those germs. Because the thing is, on average, a lot of people don't actually wash their hands, and they don't wash their hands thoroughly. Sometimes you're just touching things, and we're touching our face, and we're exposed to a lot. And by washing our hands, sometimes we're washing off the germs, but sometimes those germs are very penetrated, very deep. And so having this sanitizing spray is definitely going to be very, very good. They also came out with a new diffuser that diffuses longer and for a wider range, so 540 square feet, 10 hours. Wild orange is being updated now. Portion of it, 75% of it's being sourced from Brazil, with a farmer who has, for 4 generations, his family has really harvested this orange and essential oil, and they consider themselves more about being an essential oil company rather than just the juice. The aroma has changed slightly, but still has the same power. The kits have been updated for those who have either ordered kit or you want to order kit. It's just prettier boxes and uses less plastic to really help the environment. Now when you get a kit, starting in October, you'll have a brochure of like how you could start to use the oils right away. I typically provide that for those who are on my team, but it's nice to have that with you right away. And then the last 3 new blends that I will mention, which I'm super excited about for so many reasons. So earlier, I'm just gonna be very candid, last month, I just felt like I was just started to get in a relationship with a lot of people who do yoga. And it really just kind of that whole meditative process, that whole relaxing process. And I used to do Pilates and yogas for a while, and I just loved it at the time because it was just such a way to clear your mind and fill it with good things. But then there is a spiritual aspect to yoga as well, as much as people don't want to say that's very true. And for some branches of the yoga, and for some people who practice it, the spiritual aspect does not unnecessarily align with what I believe to be true about spirituality and my faith. And so at one point I just was kind of like, you know what, I need to just, I don't know enough yet. And so I still stretched and stuff, but I kind of stopped. Anyways, it started to just kind of open my mind more and just like, what are the key things about yoga that most people like? And it's really that calming aspect. We're all super stressed. And it's that aspect of being mindful and just centered and being aware of what your body's feeling, aware of what you're feeling and processing that. And so, I've been doing a lot more, breathing and listening and meditation and really filling myself, for me, with the Word of God that I truly believe is truth. And in that whole process, I've just been smelling the oils as I'm doing that, right? And just seeing, and I know a lot of people use essential oils in their yoga practice. And I had a friend yesterday told me that, when she did a yoga class, they came and just like whipped an oil. And so the oils elicit emotions and bring back memories and so forth, right? And so doTERRA's come out with 3 new yoga oil blends. And let me tell you about those blends. The first one is Anchor. It's called the Steady Blend. It's really about supporting feelings of completeness, devotion, community, and really giving you a steady foundation to move forward. And so it's a combination of the really existing oils. Lavender, it's a combination of lavender, cedarwood, frankincense, cinnamon, sandalwood, black pepper, and patchouli. So if you are someone who practices like a practice of calming yourself and really grounding and steadying yourself, and if you do yoga and that's a part of it, this is a great blend. Align is the centering blend. This is the second one. This promotes feelings of self-acceptance, trust, fluidity, and encourages harmony and calm progress. It's used to accept yourself, stand in integrity, and trust. It is a blend of bergamot, coriander, marjoram, peppermint, geranium, basil, rose, and jasmine. Beautiful. And then Arise, the third one, is an enlightening blend. So you saw we started with Steady, which was Anchor, Align, which was Center, and Arise, which was enlightening. It promotes happiness, clarity, courage, encourages rising to achieve a goal and improve performance. It includes lemon, grapefruit, Siberian for Osmanthus, and Melissa. So using the oils with any kind of like relaxation process just helps you center more and helps you actually be able to emotionally and mentally connect to what you're doing. Right, so that new kit is available. So So far, the one that I talked about, Siberian Fir, Blue Tansy, Copaiba, Neroli Touch, Jasmine Touch, Rose Touch, Wild Orange being updated, On Guard Nude Sanitizing Spray, and then the 3 yoga oils, Anchor, the Steady Blend, Align, the Centering Blend, and Arise, the Enlightening Blend. Now, for those not at convention, unfortunately, it's not available until October. October 2nd is when you can purchase any of these new oils. So if you're watching and you like already, you know, have your own wholesale account with doTERRA, you're on my team, we could always talk about, if you're interested in those oils, kind of how you can set up your order to kind of get the ones that most meet your needs. If you're watching this and you have never tried doTERRA oils, but you want to and you want to know where to start, maybe the ones that I shared were not necessarily like lit up your heart because that's not your health concern, that's fine. There's about 80 other oils, right? So that's why I really want to have a conversation with you and talk with you about that. So if you would like to get started with some oils or just find out which ones can help meet your needs, let me know. Would love to have a chat with you. And so yeah, so then the next thing is just like, if you want to get the notes on the oils that I just shared about, just put a comment below, and I can, when I'm done editing them and everything, I can let you know. And fourth thing, if you're here in Cayman, I am having a class. I'm going to have 3 classes for the next, at least 3 right now scheduled here in Cayman over the next month. I'm having one next Thursday, and that's a basic 101 class. Like maybe you came to another class, or maybe you came to a class before and you just want to kind of learn a little bit more. This would be the class to come to, and I'll also talk a little bit, depending on the crowd, about the new products. And you'll be able, because I didn't go, I won't have them with me right away, but I have a lot of the oils that maybe the blends were created with, so we can kind of, maybe create a small little blend for you to kind of try for those particular ones that really resonate with you. And so that's it. Let me know if you are already on my team and you want to you're interested in some of these oils. If you're in Cayman, come to the class next week, September 14th, 7:30 p.m. I'll put some links for this. If you want to get the notes from this, put a comment below. And if you're interested in starting oils and learning just which ones suit you best, let me know as well. Stay tuned. I hope we'll be doing some lives, more lives, if not this weekend, definitely next week. I want to make sure I gather all my information and be able to present it to you in a very fashionable way. So thanks so much. Stay tuned to my Facebook page and Instagram, because that's where I'll post updates on the new things happening. Okay? Thank you, ladies, for who stayed. You're awesome. If you put comments, I'm sorry, I did not see, but I will go back and see. But feel free to, if anyone's watching the replay or if you're still watching, put some comments, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.